Aside from the health implications, Omicron could potentially be another blow to the global economy too, with financial institutions raising the alarm over a spike in inflation due in part to supply chain issues. Here's Caleb Maupin.
With inflation as their excuse, U.S. corporations, excluding the financial sector, are now jacking up their prices. The biggest corporations are now raking in the highest profits they've made since 1950, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce. Meanwhile, average Americans are getting squeezed on everything from food to fuel.
When you hear about taxation being super low, I'd like for it to be increased so that everybody pays their fair share.
That's fantastic for corporations. I'm not sure it trickles down to middle class or lower income people.
It is disgusting and unconscionable, and I think it is an example of unbridled capitalism.
Lawmakers are demanding answers from the Treasury and the Federal Reserve.
The experts who have been advising you about the future rate of inflation have pretty much the same credibility as those late-night psychic hotlines you see on TV. We've got to get control of inflation. It's ravaging our people.
Not much consolation from those tasked with running the economy. Instead of telling us how things will improve, they tell us that because of the Omicron variant, inflation may be here to stay.
The recent rise in COVID-19 cases and the emergence of the Omicron variant pose downside risks to the employment and economic activity and increased uncertainty for inflation.
Not surprisingly, the public is starting to lose faith in the government's ability to manage it anyway.
To be honest, it's actually went more up. Like, everything went up. It's bad. It's really bad.
I'm not a fan of Joe Biden in particular, so I do not think he's doing a good job. I feel like ever since he became president, things have been slowly going downhill, especially in this city, but
everything is about 40% higher than it was a couple of years ago. So, no, I would not say that they're doing a great job.
Secretary of Transport, Pete Buttigieg, says it's time to buy an electric car. He's pushing for an e-vehicle discount to be included in Joe Biden's Build Back Better. For a lot of American working families, upgrading to an e-car is not exactly in the budget. Many are starting to see the White House as out of touch.
Some people just need a cheap way to get to work.
People who don't have jobs can't buy an electric car.
We have had economic crashes before, and we have had public health disasters before, but we have never had the two at the same time. COVID-19 together with an economic crash when we were barely recovering from the crash of 2008 and 9, it is too much, and it needs a massive government intervention to fix this. And Mr. Biden is simply either unable or unwilling to make anything like the intervention needed by the crisis we're working and living through.
Many Americans are starting to feel like they've been swindled, and Biden's administration seems a bit reluctant to offer a helping hand. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.